Welcome to NeurAbilities. Today we'll talk about different expectations along your journey of experiencing what NeurAbilities has to offer. Your first stop will be here, the Hope Ambassador, who will answer your questions and help explain the services offered by NeurAbilities. Then, whether in New Jersey or Pennsylvania, our clinical expert team will provide the evaluations necessary to help determine an accurate diagnosis first. Let's learn about that.
So by way of assessments, we do a range of evaluations that cover language, that cover memory, problem solving, executive functioning, and of course, in the patient population that we see with autism or suspected autism, we administer kind of state-of-the-art evaluations and diagnostic assessments that help us differentiate the patient's presentation from conditions that could mimic autism or obviously may reflect an autism diagnosis. Yeah, in terms of our diagnostic evaluations, our organization is really driven by understanding and following the current science. So we rely upon those measures that are considered state-of-the-art, gold standard measures. That might include the Autism Diagnostic Observation Schedule, the Autism Diagnostic Interview. We use other rating scales and various parent observation and other reports to basically help us understand the whole profile of the child and try to refine our diagnoses as precisely as we can.
Next will be the coordination of benefits. The clinical team coordinates benefits for your initial behavior assessment, called an IBA.
For me as a client service coordinator, I'm the first point of contact for families. So they'll come to me and they'll ask like what the therapy even consists of, which because a lot of families just come from knowing, ABA is recommended, but they don't know what kind of all goes into place with that. So a lot of them have questions about like what those services look like, who's kind of providing those services. And it's important for me to be that person to kind of give them that information, because a lot of parents are really coming very confused and kind of like last hope, like they don't really know what to do or where to go. So it's nice to be that shoulder to lean on and kind of guide them. Like our Hope Ambassador, the Hope logo, it really is those 4-pointed stars. Like we're there to kind of guide them on the journey. So I'm that first point of contact, and then I kind of identify for them what they're looking for and kind of find a therapist. Sometimes it's based on availability, but I try and find a therapist that kind of works with what they're looking for.
So when we say therapist, what do we mean here? We're talking about a number of different people. First of all, registered behavior technicians.
My role here as an RBT, I am one-to-one with the children every day. We go into schools, we go into homes, we have a clinic here that we work through, so there are all different types of environments that we can assist children that do need assistance.
Now, these registered behavior technicians are part of a much larger field called behavior analysis. So what is that and who is involved? Let's explore.
Everything about what this company does is grounded in evidence-based practices. Applied behavior analysis is no different. For many people who don't know, ABA is the #1 recommended treatment intervention for individuals with autism by the CDC. But more importantly, ABA is every day. It is the science of learning.
A major component of our present system is the incorporation and integration of applied behavioral analysis, or ABA. For myself, I had a unique experience over the years to understand the utility of ABA in analyzing not just people's behaviors, but also incorporating it into my treatment decisions. Before creation of NeurAbilities, I had experience in neurodevelopmental disability settings and some very intensive neurobehavioral stabilization units where myself, as the medical side, was working side by side with various types of ABA therapists and board-certified behavioral analysts. And I could see from the data collection whether or not my treatment interventions were successful or not. And that was quite eye-opening. That usually in my field, people were providing medications for behavioral issues and just getting subjective information, asking people, are you doing better or not? And if they weren't, there was a tendency to increase medication doses or expand to multiple medications, which of course caused a lot of side effects and other issues. But with ABA, I was able to see quantitatively whether an intervention was either reducing the behavior or not. And that can then tell me as a clinician whether I should continue with a medication approach or maybe change course. But also, it also provided insight into behaviors to see were they biologically driven or were there some other explanation for it? Was there a more functional aspect to it, for attention or trying to access something that they wanted or a communication problem? And I could see that behaviors can be solved not just through a medication approach, but often without medication, just through a behavioral management approach. So that component, when I set up NeurAbilities and our focus being on the population, it often includes individuals with autism and other similar issues and many behavioral problems, that ABA was going to be an important component of what we had, and we integrated that as a crucial division of our overall approach.
So behavior analysis is founded upon trying to understand how to help people get more of what they want in their life and less of what they don't want in their life. Now, a board-certified behavior analyst, also known as a BCBA, finalizes the initial behavior assessment report with various different things, family input and reviews and different assessments. So let's check in on what those are and the information that they're trying to gather and how they're trying to help inform this individualized experience.
For the skill assessment, we currently use ACE, Autism Curriculum Encyclopedia developed by New England Center. We gathered questionnaire-based information, and also we conduct a trial to identify skill deficit of each child, which would reflect to the behavior plan. We also use VB-MAP and ABLES to identify what's necessary skill we need to teach. So it is critical to identify the replacement behavior, matching the function of the challenging behavior. We need to teach the skill to serve the function, for example, getting something or getting out of something. If the child needs help or break from the homework, they need to be able to request the break and help instead of throwing a tantrum. Same way, if the child needs attention, they need to learn the replacement behavior, asking for attention appropriately instead of nagging or throwing a tantrum.
Now, when you hear treatment, it's really important to know that while we have these practitioners here, they are also working with you to get your input and your family's input to help review then the assessments and all of that information that you provide to create a unique, individualized service recommendation with you and your family.
What I love the most is just being able to help people, whether it's helping the kiddos and watching them make progress or just helping people to develop their careers professionally. I started out working as a therapist originally and really working a lot directly with the kids, and so I fell in love with it that way. But now as a director, I'm more kind of also falling in love with helping people develop professionally.
This initial journey closes out with a team assembled around this individualized understanding of how to best help. And this clinical team will then submit authorization and coordinate a special team of clinicians for your child. But what makes this so unique?
So to accomplish this required gathering an array of clinicians and other staff members that are focused on this population in various types of disciplines that normally would have been very independent, but now can work together as a group and as a team. And that team approach, that multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary approach is really what's key to our success and key to our patient success. The benefits of what we've created really is in our patient outcomes. We've had many, many individuals who've been to many top institutions around the country and locally, and just have not gotten the answers that they're looking for. And we have been able to provide them, at least if not the answer, we've been able to provide them a better outcome. Because we're very persistent. We're very persistent. We don't give up. We continue to search. We may not find something the first time, but we continue to stick with people and stick with their issues and try to come up with answers and better solutions. So it's really a combination of being very vigilant about understanding causes and contributions to these issues and coming up with solutions based upon those causes and contributions, and not just trying to suppress symptoms, but really understand the causes of those symptoms. And outcomes can be much better when you do that.